Hi, this is Rarusen with you. Uh, Today we are going to learn about operationalization of the variables, and as well today we will also discuss about literature review, how to write literature review, how to find the gap. Regarding all these concerns, we will discuss in this lecture today. So let's talk about first operationalization of the construct, or you can say operationalization of the variables as well. As you know, operationalization of your construct, the origin of your variables, or you can say in thesis you wrote definition and critically examine the definitions which has been written by different authors or researchers. You can say, for example, what HRM, human resource management, or and human resource practices the definition has been defined by other variable, and you will go with which definitions and why you will go with that definition, specific definition or particular definition you will define in your search paper and thesis as well. Secondly, you will secondly the relationship in literature you will define you will define how you write the relationship of two variables step by step or one by one. You will write the relationship in the literature review with the theoretical support as well and empirical evidences as well, which previously different researchers work on that relationship. You code those researchers name as well with the relationship, either it was positive relationship or negative relationship between these variables when they conduct the study. You will also critique as well in paper, in research paper, you can define relationship and hypothesis as well. The impact of the salary, for example, the impact of the salary and the performance. With the increase in salary, the performance will increase or decrease. If the salary increase as well, the performance will also increase. This is positive relation. If the salary increase and the performance decrease, it means that is showing negative relation, as well as GDP and unemployment level relationship, as well as interest rate and investment relationship. As here you can see, uh, uh, we have written some kind of variables which are in boxes. You can see this one is dependent variable here, which where the cursor is showing dependent variable. This is also called regressant or responding variable as well. And in other box, you can see independent variable, which is also known as predictor, regressor, or explanatory variable. In the triangle, you can see mediating or intervening variable, and the fourth one variable is moderating or tune up. You can also call it with other names, tune up or modify variable. First of all, we shall discuss about dependent variable. Dependent variable is a variable which is being measured or tested. Uh, for example, in analysis or in regression model, we always put in equation model. When we write an equation, we write it on left hand side, and with equal sign, and all the independent variables on the right side with error term. It's a variable which is changed by the other variables, or other variables also cause to change this variable as well. For example, in a study looking at how teaching factors or teaching tutoring or teaching the students, how it's impact on the scores of the students. The dependent variable would be the participants' test scores as well, since that is being measured. Uh, the independent variable is also, you can say, a part of research, a variable which is not changed by other variables, or it is a variable that stands alone and is not changed by the other variables. You are trying to measure, for example, someone age might be an independent variable. Other factors such as what they eat, how much they go to school, and how much they watch the television. are not going to change a person's age as well. Some variables we also use in, especially in economics and finance, we use control variables, as name is showing, a variable which effect is being constant or neutral. For example, if I am collecting the data and age is also by making constant controlling the age. I can constant the age, or I can control the age, which will not affect the result. In other words, you can say we zero the impact of control variable. Mostly in finance and economics or in secondary data collection, this control variable is used. For further example, you can say that if you are conducting research on teaching, like mood factor, if the factor of the mood we control sometimes, sometimes happy, for example, age duration, sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are not happy, how the mood will impact on the students who are sitting in class and you are giving the lecture. uh, Same like this, the age of the hospitals, if we fix the age of hospitals, for example, one hospital was started its operationalization in 2000, and the other hospital start its operationalization in 2018. So we will fix, or we can control the variable, the age of hospital. So we fix or ignore or control that, so that the result would not be affected. And furthermore, control variables data also collected during analysis, or when we are collecting the data from market or from the respondents as well. We will also collect the data of control variable. We need to declare that this variable is neutral and its effect will not be included in a regression. And next variable, our next variable is mediator variable. Mediator variable is also always explains the dependent and independent variable relationship and provide us the answer of how and why, which tells the cause, or which link the dependent and independent variable, or which explains the existing relationship of two variables. For example, marriage bureau or marriage bureau websites like this type. You can see this is, for example, you can use these examples. And also you can say the level of education and the level of income will also increase the standard life standard as well. uh, you can say if let's say level of education increase, by increasing the level of education, the income level will also increase. So when income level will increase, this will definitely increase the life standard as well. When education is high, income will also high. Understandable. So this is showing the positive relationship. According to Baron and Canning, who present this concept in 1986, before that, all variables were considered as dependent and independent variables. These were Baron and Canning's 1986, who said that two variables may be partially or directly have any kind of relationship. Suppose that emotional intelligence, another example is there. This is the, we can quote this example that if boy and girl don't know each other, then how they will got married. So he said the relationship exists between dependent and independent variable. It will give us the answer of how and why. So emotional intelligence and creativity will increase the entrepreneurial behavior as well, as this is showing that creativity in, if you will have strong emotional activities with creativity with the organization, you will have more entrepreneurship behavior. According to his, in 2008 and 2019, they said that there is no full and partial relationship exists between the variables. Variables. He also directly quote this with an example. As in previous uh, diagram, we show the relationship uh, as a third party, or you can say mediator or moderator role here. But here you can see emotional intelligence is affecting the creativity, and creativity is affecting the entrepreneurship behavior. Uh, Look at you can see here, you can see directly a relationship of these variable. Moderator variables are those variables which tune up or modify the relationship. You can see it also strengthen or weaken the relationship of two variables that can only modify the existing relationship between two variables. For example, air conditioner and temperature, job stress and performance. For example, we can also quote an example of fan and its moderator or regulator, from where we control the fan speed. We can also understand it with the help of this diagram as it is shown below. As teaching effectiveness, if we want to uh, find out that if the academic facilities will be provided to the teacher or at organization, then how it will affect the students' learning behavior. Teaching effectiveness and academic facilities can can change the relationship. This can change the relationship positively or negatively. Its presence makes the relationship more stronger or more weaker. And after the operationalization of the you can say variables, our next topic is meta-analysis, how we draw a model. The drawing of the model matters in terms of research papers. If we download the latest research papers from different impact factors journal, we shall come to know uh, about the direction of the previous studies, that how people are working on which topic. On the basis of these research papers, you will get an idea to withdraw your model with previous research gaps. When you download these papers, you read the title, you read abstracts, you read literature reviews and variables which has been discussed in this paper, and you got the future direction as well. The future direction is very important. This is an other way to find out the future direction in front from current call for papers from different journals and websites, and the latest papers issues like systematic reviews of papers. You suppose you download about 50 papers, and you read 50 papers, and you cannot focus on all the future directions of the papers. So you will find out common variables which are common in these research. It means these variables are so important that many researchers are coding them. Meta-analysis, let me share a file with you of meta-analysis, if I can share it here. Here you can see new. um, yes, this one. Okay. Here you can see this is a file of meta-analysis in which you can see here is year, in which year this paper was published, and here you can see a long list of variables like in 2020, 2021. Here more papers are below. As you can see, these are latest papers, and here author names. As I have drawn my meta-analysis in Excel, and this is article names, and this is abstract as well. You can read here about what this paper is containing, and what type of technique is used, which type of data is used. And here you can see the model graph as well. Here is also, and here they have discussed the future direction as well. So same like that, you can write the meta-analysis of meta-analysis from different variable, from different research papers, and from these meta-analysis you can withdraw a model, or you can extend a model by adding some extension like this. This is a model in which we can add two or three variables as well, or we can also use different technique like FGLS or GMM or any other technique we use in this variable. And we can also uh, add a mediating or moderating variable in this model as well here, as we can add a moderator of technostress as well. So you can draw meta-analysis, and after that you can decide about your uh, final final your topic, and you can finalize your model as well. You add more in let's say in 50 research papers you add some variables. You can work on common papers. All were discussed. Let's say if you are working on service quality or innovations or big data analysis, you can download multiple papers from different impact factor journal. So by these papers you will get inspiration, and you will realize this is unique direction. So for on that unique direction you can work. You will also extend or modify the model which is allowed in a research paper by adding some future relevant variables. You can also mediating and moderating where you can also add mediating and moderating variables or new techniques. But at PhD level, you not only focus on extension, but you also try to use some other parameters as well in this dissertation writing, or more advanced, or one step more forward. You need to think if there is not anything in future direction, you can logically prove it. It is not compulsory to get direction from the future direction, future discussion gap. If any theory is supporting your idea or your particular, if you are going to use that particular variable and gap is existing in the market for that particular research variable, then you can also conduct study on it. You can go with it variable, but you need to prove logical and theoretical, strong theoretical support on the background of that study. Now we shall discuss what is literature review, why do we literature review, how to write literature review. Uh, in research papers, how we write research papers and theses, and how we write literature review in thesis. Past experience, as we when we think about the word literature review, many things come into our mind as past experiences or past studies. What happened in previous studies, and what had been done in previous topics. Study of previous research, explore the past, or and turn to the direction to find the gap, relevant gap finding, where problem exists to find out the problem. These are the things which occur in our mind when we think about literature review. Or we also think that where issue exists, the reports from where we can get these data. You can get this literature from reports, previous reports which have been published, or do I need to study economic service survey, or we can also uh, go through different articles and research papers, and even we can go to the library and we can also get some kind of data and information or on previous literature published, or either it is published or unpublished. And we can read out some books for also for the literature review. Suppose if you don't know about your variables, suppose big data analysis, which variable will be used or which variable will be included in your research, or which techniques or model you will use in your research, and which software you will use in your research, which variable will be dependent and which variable will be independent, moderator and mediator. If you don't know about these type of issues, then to refine your ideas, you need to review the literature. You you can say critic the previous literature, what was missing in previous research. You critically highlight the previous studies to find the gap. Gap is the, you can say the gap is the difference between the actual and desired. The more you can, the more you will review the literature, the more base of your idea will be strong, the more stronger research you will construct, or you can conduct, the more you more strong base for your research papers. To draw the theoretical model, you need also to go through the literature. Theoretical model cannot drawn without literature review. Unless we shall not read the literature review, how I shall come to know that which variable can be taken as mediator and which variable can be taken as moderator, or which methodology will be used, and if we are using the secondary data, then which new technique will be used, for example, FGLS and GMM, or any other latest technique. For all these purposes, you need to go through the literature. Researchers make some kind of hypothetical statements which are tested, or develop hypotheses. They go through the literature review. For example, increasing the salary will increase the performance. For this uh, for this I need to review the literature. So these are some kind of purpose for reviewing the literature. Now, from where we can get the literature, from where we can find out the literature, there are different sources of literature. By browsing the sources, by citing the different journals, reports, by reading the published and printing books from the library, annual reports, World Trade Organizations, WTO, World Development Indicator, World Reserve Bank, IMF, State Bank, Reserve Bank, and for and primary data, primary data and secondary data articles or magazine from where we collect the data. By using these resources, we review the literature. Previously, we also learned the theoretical foundation, theory which theory is used by by reviewing the literature. We will come to know that which theory uh, is used in that particular research paper. The model which you are developing or designing, which with theory, you will also know which theory is working behind your model. It is also called the underpinning theory. We also tells that our theory. Uh, we also tell that in our literature review that the theoretical foundation of our model is um, theoretical model is based on the theory previously. For example, cognitive theory and social exchange theory, or you will Phillips theory, or any kind of other theory. You will go with it. As we know, theory is a certain kind of principles or set of principles. We write a paragraph in research paper, but in thesis we write 2 to 3 pages about your theoretical models. So here is all of our lectures which we have discussed today. I hope you will learn, and I will also give my blogspot link in this video, which you can from where you can also get the uh, hard copy of this lecture as well. So stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. Bye.